Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing The Young Elites. This was recommended to me for subscriber month by Tiffany from Loveless Degrees. Tiffany has been a follower of mine and a very good friend of mine for a while now. We watch both of each other's videos and I really like her videos. They're really enjoyable. She's very kind and sweet, and I just like the way that she does her videos. She talks about books all the time, and she's also met numerous authors. She's actually gone to loads of book signings, and she has physically met many authors. And I'm pretty sure that Marie Lu was one of these authors. She's always going on about Marie Lu in her videos, so when she recommended this book to me, I was really excited, and I said to myself, look, this book better be good because she's always going on about this author. So I will have a link down below in the description to Tiffany's channel. I would highly recommend you go and check her channel out, watch her videos, subscribe to her, all that great stuff. So with all that out of the way, let's go straight to what I thought about this book. So prior to going into this novel, I didn't know anything about this book. I didn't watch any reviews on YouTube. I didn't read any reviews on Goodreads. I didn't read the synopsis when I actually bought it on my Kindle. I didn't read the synopsis. I just looked at the cover and looked at the page counts, and that was it. So that was all I had to go by. By looking at the cover, I presumed that it might have been YA fantasy, and that's what it exactly is. This is a YA fantasy novel. So before I tell you what the story is all about, I'm just going to say my usual things here. This is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. And because this is a fantasy novel, this has a loads of made-up words and names, so if I mispronounce something, apologies for that. So the story focuses around our main character called Adelina, who is deformed in the face after an event that happens in her world, which is called, or is referred to as, the blood fever. This was a virus of some sort that swept the whole world that this book resides in, and loads of people died, like millions of people died of this fever, but a small handful of people, primarily children, survived this. And these survivors of this blood fever are called Malfettos. Hopefully I've said that right. Malfettos are extremely looked down upon. They are hated extremely amongst pretty much every single person in this world. It's not that they are necessarily bad or horrible people. They are just ordinary people that happen to survive this blood fever. They are not contagious. They are not a risk to anyone. They are just extremely despised amongst the majority of this civilization. And most of these Malfettos are deformed in some way, primarily on the face. Like our main character, Adelina, she is very scarred on one side of her face and she's missing an eye. And she considers herself to be ugly. That's what she's been brought up to believe by her father, who, to be quite frank, is the biggest a-hole, well, the second biggest a-hole in novels that I've read. The biggest one is the stepfather in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. But her father is so cruel. He knows that some Malfettos have supernatural abilities. They have powers. Kind of like the X-Men. They have one unique ability that is unique to them. They have one special ability that is unique to them, and he thinks that Adelina, his daughter, has this, or maybe have one of these supernatural abilities. So because, as I said, Malfettos are extremely looked down upon in society, he hates his daughter with a passion. He doesn't love her whatsoever. He considers her to be an abomination, and he wants to try to discover what her power is so he can ultimately sell her to someone and get money from her and profit in that way. Adelina also has a sister called Violetta. Violetta is the complete opposite of um, Adelina. Violetta is beautiful, she's sweet, she's naive, and she has, because she's only a teenager, she's about 14 or 15 or something like that, and even at that time she has a long list of possible guys that want to marry her or propose to her and make a relationship when she turns the right age. And that was really weird as well. I'm thinking, guys, this kid is only 14 years old and you want to marry her. What if when she turns old enough, what if she becomes really, really horrible? Are you going to say, oh, no, I've changed my mind, I'm just going to go over here for a little bit. But the relationship between Adelina and Violetta is extremely close. They have a very loving and caring relationship with each other, and they look out for each other, despite them knowing that their father treats them in this cruel way. There is a very upsetting scene with a butterfly that has one wing, and Violetta picks it up and just tries to nurture it. And then their father comes along and just tells Adelina to rip the other wing off this butterfly. And it's done in extreme detail, and if that may trigger you, be warned about that. So after a tragic accident with Adelina's father, she escapes and she runs away, but she's accused of being responsible for this incident. And because a lot of people think that she is a malfetto and that they believe that she is one of these young elites. Now, the young elites are a group of mercenaries that form together to actually stand up to the mistreatment of malfettos in this world, and they just want to bring them peace and make people accept them and stop people from killing them, because trust me, it is so upsetting. Men, women, children, they all get dragged out for no apparent reason and killed throughout this book, whether they're main characters, side characters, or whatever. So the young elites are really the main heroes of this story. They are the main group. And they are the ones that rescue Adelina from being burnt at the stake. That seems to be the main way of people killing and disposing of these malfettos, is to burn them alive. I don't know why it's not explained that this is the only way to actually destroy a malfetto. But after she is rescued, she finds out that her main rescuer, called Enzo, whose special ability is to create fire from nothing. He actually generates heat from people and stuff around him and uses it to his advantage, and it is so good, the battles that he actually has. Adelina's power is that she uses her mind to create illusions around other people, and she can also create an illusion over herself and other people to disguise their appearance. So Enzo takes Adelina to the main base of the young elites and says, right, we are going to train you, and if you pass our training, you become one of us, basically. But he says that there is no guarantee that she will pass this test, as there was a young man that failed their training and he was exiled from his group. And we find out that this band has a kind of like a leader. I mean, Enzo's the leader, but we find out that there is another leader called Raphael, who is more of the wise person. He's more of the Yoda of the group. He's very loving and nurturing, and he likes to care for other people. His ability is that he can sense other malfettos around him. So while Adelina is training with the young elites, we find out about our villain of this story, called Terran. Terran is a really, really horrible person. We find out that he has abilities himself. He is a malfetto, which results in him healing himself. He's kind of like Wolverine. Every time he gets hurt or injured, no matter how severe, he instantly repairs himself and his body. But he sees his abilities as an abomination. He feels that his gifts are a curse and he resents having them. He wants to stop and kill all the Malfettos on this world, and he is driven by hate and anger, and he is so vengeful and hurtful and hateful. He just wants to kill and destroy, and that's all he wants to do. We find out that one of the young elites, I won't say who it is because I don't want to spoil that, did have a relationship with Terran as a children, and in that way we do have a little backstory with him. We do find out that Terran has a romantic relationship with the Queen. Now this story is set in a singular city, and we do find out about the rulers of this world, which are the King and the Queen. They are kind of like the side villains. They're kind of on the back burner, and Terran is our main villain that is pulling the strings, and the King and the Queen are on the sidelines, not being super popular and mostly hated amongst everybody that lives in this city. But Terran is having a relationship with the Queen. We don't really know why this is happening, and we don't know if the Queen has the same feelings towards Terran, or whether she's just manipulating him for her own benefits and her own plan. But the young elites have this idea about trying to defeat the king and to overthrow the empire, and to basically they want to try to free all the Malfettos and stop people from killing them all the time. While this is going on, Adelina is training, and we find out that her powers are fueled by fear and hate and anger, because she has a lot of that inside her. She's been brought up by her father to believe that she's worthless and a monster, and she has all this hate within her. And we do find out that she does go to Terran because he does say that he has one of Adelina's families held hostage, or family members held hostage. I won't say exactly who it is because I don't want to spoil it. And he wants Adelina to tell him secrets about the young elites. He wants to know more about them so he can find out where they are, about who they are, and kill them. Because the young elites, when they are out in public, they wear cloaks and they wear masks to cover their identities, and no one knows who they are, what their true names are. We do find out that Adelina is constantly tormented by the ghost of her father, who throughout the novel he constantly appears to her and torments her and gives little sarcastic comments and commentary to situations that are happening around her. So in the end, it's all about Adelina and these young elites and Terran like having a massive confrontation at the end, and like good versus evil, oppressors versus the oppressed, and all that great stuff. So what did I like about this story? I liked how it was written. This was the first time I've ever read anything by Marie Lu, and it was extremely easy and straightforward to read and to understand as well. I liked most of the main characters. The ones that you were supposed to be rooting for, you really liked, and the villains, you were made to really hate them. And there was a time in the book where I said to myself, look, I don't really read that much YA, but I wouldn't mind to find out what happens at the end. And the ending, it was a satisfying ending, but it kind of left on a cliffhanger because this is book one in a trilogy, and yeah, I am intrigued to read the other two novels. So what I disliked was mostly the fact that Adelina seemed to be at a struggle with herself. She didn't know what she wanted to actually do. She felt betrayed by the young elites, and she wanted to she didn't know whether she wanted to betray them, or at the same time she wanted to try to save her family member from Terran from being tortured and injured. So it was basically them two conflicting issues that were within her, them two conflicting ideas. And I'm thinking, well, that's all well and good, but I'm not really entirely sure about what your motivations are. I know you're extremely confused. I know this character has a lot of anger within herself. And I know that this is supposed to be a story about a villain. Adelina is not supposed to be portrayed as a hero. She's supposed to be portrayed as a villain, as the acknowledgements at the back of the book actually says that by the author herself. But apart from that, I didn't really have any complaints about this book whatsoever. It was really enjoyable, and I had a lot of fun reading it. So I am going to rate The Young Elites by Marie Lu a 4 stars out of 5. So that's it, guys. That is my review on The Young Elites by Marie Lu. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Comment down below, let me know if you have read this. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know if you've read the other 2 books in the trilogy and what you thought about them. Let me know also if you've read anything else by Marie Lu, and if you have any recommendations by this author. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it helps out so much. And if you do, please click on that bell, as it will remind you whenever I upload videos, which are every Monday and Friday. I will have a link down below to my Goodreads account as always, so you can see what I'm reading or message me or whatever. I will have a link down below, as I said, to Tiffany's channel down below in the description. So once again, please check her out and give her as much attention as you possibly can. And with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.